This is Mr. Airhose sending out a transmission from the SWOT Enterprise. A word to anyone seeking meaning and fuel for the continuation of their journey. Code 1414 is unbeatable. It is because of this that I'm alive and well with plenty of drive. When you don't need to worry about devising your own schemes to distract you from reality, life is good. Life is beautiful. Life and everything that comes my way is a gift that I could not deserve, and gratitude, as always, is of the utmost importance. The fellow and I have become quite fond of one another as we learn what is beneficial to us both. He likes a scratch beneath his quasi-dimensional cheek as positive reinforcement, enabling me to successfully encourage him as he encourages me. It all seemed so one-sided for a while, but now I see we both have plenty to offer one another. We journey on with Godspeed and resolve, ready for the cosmos and whatever we can contribute, finding ourselves integrated in many a galactic community. We're safe, we're here, and we're ready for what may come. And we couldn't do it without the abundance of transmissions that come our way. Tune in, blast off. Receiving transmission.
1, 2, 3.
to be like a child. Not childish, but childlike. To walk and live with hope and peace, free from the worries of modernity, understanding something about life that preserves its beauty. Desensitization and the unfortunate side of self-consciousness distract us from a life that feels right. Or perhaps our distractions are more intentional these days. We dream of freedom that once came so naturally to us as children as we lose grip on our sense for wonder. The dream fades into obscurity and we submit to what we negatively refer to as the mundane, though it was precisely this same simplicity that once brought us such joy. If only we could hold on to such innocent eyes with which we can observe the world through the lens of purity. There's a key in this idea, a key that opens a door that reintroduces us to hearts that beat to the rhythm of life, inviting us to reimagine this restless, fleeting dream in the same way that once graced us with the understanding that such things as dragons are real. And they are, though we do not refer to them as such anymore. It's still right here. It's still real. Receiving transmission.
Not alone. Another sleepless journey home, home. 'Cause I can't hide in the night. Now I must find the light. Traveling like a one-man show. There's nowhere left to go, 'cause I have chosen this road. Now I must find the light. There is a hole in my life. There is a heart in your head.
Wisdom and wickedness, folly and madness, pleasure and pain, everything is like smoke. We see it forming and moving, we think we've made some sense of it, but the moment we try to grasp it, it slips right through our fingers. Hevel, vanity, meaninglessness, whatever you want to call it, life seems to leave us empty and heartbroken regardless of what we consider we may have gained in the way of success. In all our searching, we are faced with the decision to submit to hopeless nihilism, or maybe there's more to this thing than we naturally understand. Maybe there is an objectivity we are being invited into. Maybe there is a structure to reality beyond our capability to come up with on our own. When the sinking sand sucks us in and brings us down, it is good that we remind ourselves that this is indeed not the end, and one day we may be finally drawn to the solid ground of salvation. May it be so, as we continually seek to solidify the terrain beneath our feet, as we seek to receive the lessons gleaned from the days of darkness, and as we receive another transmission. Receiving transmission. Imagine being banned from Earth, only to discover that the cosmos still finds ways to invent boy band drama. Out here in the far reaches of space, there's this popular band called Splortsplort, comprised of 42 members all in the same codependent hive being. Unfortunately for their fans, each fragment has apparently insisted that they are the real Splortsplort, resulting in each part of the single being embarking on solo careers, leading to 42 debut albums dropping simultaneously. Their most recent release, called You're the only one for me, baby, except for the other 41 who are also you, dominated the cosmic charts just before the split. In an emotional press conference simultaneously held on 42 stages across the cosmos, each fragment of the band announced, "We feel the creative direction of Splortsplort has been compromised by Splortsplort." But each fragment ended up pointing to itself in a rather circular blame game that looped for about 4 hours before each audience gave up and went home. Each Splortsplort released an album within minutes of the split with titles including Me, Myself, and Also Me, Splortsplit, and the avant-garde Static Noise for 7 hours. Their slogan, Splortsplort Forever, has been officially changed to Splortsplort was a mistake, and I am officially over the drama, thankful that my receiver is selective enough to filter out what I consider to be the uninspired nonsense across all 42 albums, although their last hit before the split, I'll have to admit, was heading in a decent direction. Anyways, not from Splortsplort, receiving transmission.
Watching you sleep. 3
part in all of us that's betting against every good thing we've come to know. It's usually suppressed, but occasionally it pokes its ugly head up and threatens to throw the whole game, and we panic and end up accidentally giving it all over for shock value in hopes that the card played will give us some sort of advantage. But then we wish we could take it back immediately as its power takes hold of our situation, facing the almost inevitable destruction of what we actually love, though we may have lost sight of this in a moment. By some miracle, some gift of grace, all remains salvageable, but reconstruction is an uphill battle. We wish all at once that we had not dismantled the establishment, recognizing the value of the light it once provided that was taken for granted, and we live in fear that we may end up thinking in the future this same sort of thing may happen. Stay vigilant. Watch and pray lest you fall into temptation. The cost is too great. We have so much to lose, so much to fight for. The lesson, however, is valuable. Do not take the light for granted. Receiving transmission.
Words burn inside, but never take shape.
Consciousness, the ego, is a fragile and limited part of the whole of one's being that emphasizes our sense of individual identity and is in constant dialogue with the vast unconsciousness, both personal and collective. This is the part of the mind that filters reality and develops personal bias, with the potential to integrate unconscious material to achieve a greater sense of the self. But the ego is actually a small part of who we are, much smaller than the ego will allow us to believe. Sure, it can be utilized as a tool that connects our inner and outer reality, but it's only the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. There is what we know, what we don't know, and what we don't know, and it's all bigger than one mind can manage to contain. Balance is not inflation of the ego, but humbling of the soul, the core of one's being. Otherwise, welcome to the dream, unable to awake into reality. Embrace the quiet lines that weave together so secure that hold absolutely nothing. Or understand that if you are not the center of any universe, you have a part to play that you may be neglecting. Bah. Take it easy. Receiving transmission. news comes my way. The Unified Cosmic Newswire writes, the Andromedas 7 spiral galaxy reported missing late last week has been found safe and entirely intact after an exhaustive search for the local cosmos revealed it lodged behind what interstellar authorities are describing as a rather large and embarrassingly dusty cosmic sofa. The galaxy, home to approximately 400 billion stars and at least 37 species who all insist that they are at the center of everything, was last seen orbiting politely in its usual position before slipping unnoticed into what officials are calling a gap in cosmic housekeeping. It is not unusual for smaller items to go missing, explained Chief Surveyor Blarn Droot of the Department of Universal Cartography. But a whole galaxy falling behind the furniture? That's sloppy. Someone really ought to be keeping better track of these things. Residents of Andromedas 7 reported only mild disruptions during the disappearance. One planet's day briefly stretched to 43 hours, prompting widespread oversleeping, while another found that its oceans suddenly sloshed in slightly the wrong direction. We assumed it was just Monday, remarked one inhabitant. The search operation, lasting 3 intergalactic days, involved extensive prodding of dark corners and repeated cries of, "Has anyone checked under the cushions?" Finally, the sofa, believed to date back to the early days of creation and upholstered in an oddly persistent beige, was shifted, revealing the missing galaxy alongside 3 missing socks and an ancient TV remote. The galaxy was carefully dusted off and returned to its proper orbit, though experts note that it may spin slightly askew for a few eons. To prevent further mishaps, the Bureau of Cosmic Arrangement has announced plans to install a network of interdimensional coasters and slipcovers. Critics, however, argue that given the universe's track record, it is only a matter of time before something larger, perhaps an entire cluster, ends up vanishing into a gap behind existence itself. In the meantime, citizens are encouraged to keep an eye out for missing celestial objects in odd places. If you notice a faint glow coming from behind your sofa, said Surveyor Droot, please don't ignore it. It could be an entire civilization trying to get your attention. And what's trying to get my attention now? Oh, well, but another transmission. Receiving transmission. The noises of speculation come flooding in, surrounded by so many insistent voices, confident they know the way to go, pulling in every direction, when suddenly we are met with silence. It's what we didn't know we needed. A moment pregnant with potential, eager to give way to clarity, but being unexpected as such moments present themselves, the quiet seems to need filling with something, anything. Sent drifting into ill-prepared contemplation, we float on into the void, clawing for something to steady us, only to find nothing to grip onto. And the relief from all the noise is met with desire to fill the empty space. The reaction is reflex, acting on instinct. There's something within us that was built to receive, but the time comes for us to produce, and we find that we have less to offer than we thought. Breathe. Take it all in. Perhaps the initiation of something beautiful may present itself in the midst of maddening muteness. And here the silence is broken with a transmission from our friends on Parthenon. Receiving transmission.
Blue, uncertain, stumbling buzz between the light and me. And then the windows failed, and then I could not see. With blue, uncertain, stumbling buzz between the light and me. And then the windows failed, and then I could not see to see. Stillness in the room was like the stillness in the air. Between the heat of storm, the eyes around had wrung them dry, and breaths were gathering firm for their last onset when the king be witnessed in the room. With blue, uncertain, stumbling buzz between the light and me. And then the windows fell, and then I could not see. With blue, uncertain, stumbling buzz between the light and me. And then the windows fell, and then I could not see to see. How will my ink take sign away the portion of me bleed? A sign of love, and then it was there interposed of flying. I heard of flowers when I died. The stillness in the room was like the stillness in the air between the heaves of storm. With blue, uncertain, stumbling buzz between the light and me. And then the windows fell, and then I could not see. With blue, uncertain, stumbling buzz between the light and me. And then the windows fell, and then I could not see to see.
The things we notice in moments of sober-minded, still reflection, looking back on our entire lives. In the stillness of the air, not a thing escapes our perception. Even in blindness, we see beyond sight at the closing of a chapter. The light dimmed or brightened, the movement of the wind, the temperature rising or falling, a fly in the window. It all captivates our attention in a way that we wish we could have accessed sooner in life. But the times come and they move on, whether we are cognizant of them or not, moving through dimensions bound by time and space, and the best we can do is take note of our surroundings as the breath escapes our lungs, perhaps for the last time. When the time comes, we must realize we have been given every opportunity for understanding. Everything up to these moments have prepared us for them. For everything outside of our control, what we always have the capacity for is taking note of our surroundings. You never know. Perhaps the buzzing of a fly may be the most important thing to take to heart. Let's not wish we noticed sooner. Let's not ignore life while we're alive. Receiving transmission.
You told me that was all there was. How steady do you think you are? Have I just done? Or is it all in my head? Should I call and ask for forgiveness instead? Was it real? How does it go to feel? Sunshine or rain? Drops were falling down to pieces. Oh, that's what I saw at least. The train was pulling into the face. Where do we go from here? Is it all? How do you feel? Sunshine. And when I called you out in the heat of the fight, I guess I said some things that wasn't right. And I wished you knew that I didn't mean a thing. I'm really sorry for all those broken things. I'm really sorry for all those broken things. I'm really sorry, sorry, sorry. Do you trust me now? Can I trust me now? Sunshine or rain?
Where do we go from here? Trying times especially spark this consideration. Who can we trust? We must become trustworthy ourselves. We must not speak too long about what it means to be great and be great. How can we move on? We can wake up the next day. Not everybody has the privilege. Where do we go from here? Forward. Sunshine or rain, we go forward. Though I have been exiled from Earth, I am aware that things are not going so well in the grand scheme of things. I understand everything seems to be falling apart. I would suggest that they're falling into place, but I don't want to be insensitive. All I can say is that trying times make us who we are. It is good to take the necessary time to grieve, to mourn, to be comforted, and to heal. I've been asked to send out a transmission from one of my men still stationed on my home planet, a reflection of sorts, considering the times that were, the times that are to come, and right now. This is Mr. Airhose, signing off. Godspeed, planet Earth. Sending transmission.
The tales of mice and men, nothing new is ever told. As the summer ends, winter brings the cold. The work put in, reap what has been sown. It's all I've ever known. And as the story goes, lost another friend. Could have known that this would be the end. And now we just pretend the means that justify the end. The violence and the suffering are worth what we perceive as peace. The polarizing sides of things, when all I wanted was to see the day where all belief was set in stone. It's all I've ever